to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, we start with our wildlife segment that will take a look at the life and habitat of the bobwhite quail. Next, we'll take a look at the gallows and the John Wilks booth conspirators, followed by a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a story about the Santa Fe Trail. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for Around Kansas. I wrote in my grass and grain column last week, I missed a week because I forgot what day it was. It's like I haven't known what day it was since Thanksgiving. It's like Michael and I were just talking about, with the holidays and just crazy schedules that I can never keep up. But if I'm doing Around Kansas, it must be Wednesday. And today I'm here in the offices of Ag AM at Silver Lake. And you know what? I am so freaking jealous because Doc Talk, let me turn it to right. Is that right? Can you see it that way, DT? Doc Talk is everywhere. Of course, Dr. Dan Thompson. How come I don't have anything with my initials or with AK? And how come it worked out that Doc Talk is Dr. Dan's initials? DT, Dan Thompson is everywhere. He's everywhere, people. Yes. I'm still lobbying for that billboard. We'll just work on that. If I can get a billboard, then I'll be even with Dr. Dan. So I know he's got tons of fans out there because they all ask me about him everywhere I go. Do you know Dr. Dan? Well, I see him on occasion. Enough about Dr. Dan. Okay, so we are passing along the word. Kennedy Hodges out at the Flint Hills Discovery Center in Manhattan, sends me updates on what they're doing out there. And July 27th is the International Day of the Cowboy. They are celebrating that at the Flint Hills Discovery Center starting, I think, at 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 to 5. So all kinds of great things going on out there. And, of course, the Flint Hills Discovery Center is just an amazing museum. Great kid-friendly family place to go because you've got all those interactive things going on. So that's... And it's air conditioned, folks. So on those really hot afternoons when you don't know what else to do, that'd be a great place to go. And of course, the cowboy is such a big part of the story of the Flint Hills. So that's a perfect place to honor the story of the cowboy. And we hope that you can go out and tell them that Deb and Around Kansas sent you out there. So I know here we are, almost at the end of July, and just, school starting is just around the corner. Harvest, hopefully, is just wrapping up for most people. It's been a really crazy harvest season, with the stormy weather and, planting not being on time, harvesting not being on time. Usually everybody's done by the 4th of July, and this year that was not the case. So harvest has really lingered on. So we were joking the other day that hopefully harvest is over by Christmas. And was sure hoping that, folks had a good, safe harvest time and now gearing up for other stuff. There's just always work to be done when you're farming and ranching, as most of you know. I want to tell you a little bit about my schedule. On August 11th, I will be at Wakini at the Trego County Historical Society showing our film Thoth's Dragon. That's going to be their annual meeting, I believe. So that's going to be a fun time, and that's another wonderful museum. Think air conditioning during summer, folks. All right, folks, got a great show for you this morning. Stay with me.
My name's Karen Cope, and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue, And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. You know, after stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before, because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards and to be able to win at cards. You know, they all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? You know, where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
The northern bobwhite quail is the most well-known native game bird in Kansas, according to Charlie Lee, wildlife management expert for K-State and K-State Research and Extension. The winter months serve as an important time for landowners to consider how to make land more quail-friendly. Bobwhite quail have been making a very strong recovery in western Kansas, according to Jason Wagner, wildlife biologist for the Kansas Department of Wildlife Parks and Tourism. Quail populations in western Kansas are boom or bust because they are closely tied to the timing and amount of precipitation. Conditions over the last 3 years have allowed for prime quail habitat during nesting and brood rearing times. Quail hatch peaks in late June and early July. Quail also have a tenacious re-nesting behavior, which allows them to continue to attempt to raise broods until they are successful. Bless their hearts. Bobwhites are known as an edge species. They thrive in areas that have abrupt changes in habitat. These areas are generally where woody vegetation, like shrubs, meets native grasslands, cropland, or weedy areas. One key component is woody escape cover, preferably shrubs that are 3 to 6 feet tall. Quail need residual cover of native warm season grasses to nest in. In order to raise a brood, bobwhites need bare ground with good overhead canopy cover and lots of insects for foraging. Areas of brood-rearing habitat have abundant forbs, or flowering plants that are not grasses. During the winter months, quail need areas of woody or weedy cover to get out of the extreme weather of western Kansas. Good quail habitat begins with properly managed native warm season grasses. Quail can benefit from common grassland practices like prescribed burning. Trees like honey locusts, elms, and cedars should be removed from grasslands that are being managed for quail. Shrubs like sandhill plum, American plum, and fragrant sumac should be left for escape cover. Shrub thickets should be spaced apart, about as far as you can throw a softball. If there are no shrubs present, planting a variety of shrubs in rows or thickets along the edges of crop fields or rangeland can also improve quail habitat. Conservation Reserve Program, CRP, has helped boost quail populations in Kansas since it began in 1985. Interseeding forbs into CRP will also improve the quality of habitat for bobwhites. Grassed terraces, or native warm season grass waterways, are also excellent ways to improve quail habitat on crop fields. Any native grass strips should be at least 30 feet wide. An easy way to create escape cover for quail is cutting unwanted trees like locust, cedar, and elm, and then loosely stacking them into brush piles. Old windrows and hedgerows can be renovated to further help the local quail population. Trees in windrows can be cut and left where they fall. Osage orange trees can be cut off at ground level and then the stump left unsprayed. The tree will resprout at the stump and create the woody escape cover quail require. The edges of riparian areas can be feathered by cutting trees along the edge and leaving the cut trees where they fall. Odd areas or strips in cropland can be left unsprayed and untilled to allow for weed growth that would benefit quail. Any odd areas or weedy areas should be left along the edge of crop fields and positioned close to permanent native grasses or woody vegetation. Leaving a strip of ground along the fence rows or roads undisturbed will create areas of edge for the bobwhites. Cover crops may also benefit quail by providing brood-rearing habitat, a food source, and escape cover. The experts assure us that managing for quail is not difficult. It just requires some planning this time of year. Come spring, the bobwhite will be singing our praises. Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call, we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
The trial of the 19th century began on May 9, 1865. Abraham Lincoln had been assassinated not even a month before. To the disappointment of the Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton, the guilty party, John Wilks Booth, had been killed rather than captured. But he was only the tip of the conspiracy. There were others responsible in the plot to overthrow the government. President Andrew Johnson ordered a trial by military commission, as the assassination conspiracy was deemed an act of war. For several weeks, prosecutors revealed the case against the conspirators. Because the defense attorneys were never allowed to meet with their clients, their arguments were weak and easily refuted. The commission began deliberation on June 29. Nearly a week later, they declared all 8 defendants guilty. Some, like Dr. Mudd, received prison terms. Lewis Powell, David Harold, George Atzerodt, and Mary Surratt were sentenced to hang. Workmen quickly erected a scaffold on the lawn of the old Arsenal Penitentiary. From their cells, the condemned could hear its construction and the slam of the traps as they were tested. At 1:15 on July 7, the 4 were led to the gallows, their hands and feet tied, heads covered with hoods, and necks fitted with nooses. Minutes later, they were dead. Despite a desperate last-minute plea to spare her life, Mary Surratt became the first woman executed for a crime in the United States. In 1885, the secretary of the Kansas Historical Society learned that the scaffold was stored at the old arsenal in Washington, D.C. He wrote to the quartermaster's office to request a piece of it for the collection. The lieutenant who received the letter was happy to comply, as he had spent time as a soldier at Fort Leavenworth and considered himself a Kansan. He sent this fragment. It has been a part of the Society's collection since 1885. Through enlarging photographs and comparing the fragment, it was determined that this fragment held the rope upon which Mary Surratt was hanged.
Hey folks, welcome. I'm here with Holly Martin of the High Plains Journal, and she has some exciting news to share.
Yeah, we're having Cattle U here in Dodge City on July 31st and August 1st.
It's going to be a great event, and I am so thankful that you would bring it here to Dodge City in Kansas.
Yeah, it's the heart of cattle country. We were going to have a great speaker lineup, just as you know, you're going to be a part of it.
Well, I looked at the speaker lineup, and I was just blown away. It's going to be something there for everyone.
Absolutely. Hope that people come and spend 2 days with us learning.
And it's not just for feedlot operators.
No. Cow-calf producers, stockers, there's a little something for everybody.
Yeah, and you're going to have a trade show with it?
Yeah, trade show, great information to be able to learn in the educational sessions and then go outside and be able to find partners to work with.
Come network with a bunch of cattle producers here in Dodge City. We're all going to be here, and it's going to be a great time. Thank you so much, Holly.
Thank you.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
There is a group called the Kansas Barn Alliance, which promotes and preserves barns as a vital part of the rural lifestyle of Kansas. This poem is entitled, Barns Are Beautiful. I think a barn is a beautiful thing, surrounded by grass in the early spring. It's a place of shade to store some hay, with stanchions for milking cows along the way, or perhaps a tack room or stalls, of course, where you can stable a cow or a horse. Or maybe it's converted to some modern use, which a rural landowner will come to choose. It may have a gable or gambrel roof to maintain, topped off by a cupola or a weather vane. It may be built of stone or old wood, but it brings back memories of when times were good. It's a symbol of our nation's rural legacy, a part of our landscape for all to see. And when you've worked hard on the range and you're all in, just waiting for the workday to come to an end, it's sweet to hear those words when the boss says, "Oh darn, I guess it's quitting time. Let's go to the barn." Happy trading.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Trust and leadership are critical to success at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center in Manhattan. Just ask Coach Bill Snyder.
People of the Regenerative Center do care about others. I've been highly impressed with those people that have that vested interest and try to help people become better. The center really is a wonderful thing here in Manhattan, first of its kind, and we're on the cutting edge of what lies ahead.
Find out more about the trusted leader in stem cell therapy at kansasrmc.com. Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
In 1821, the Santa Fe Trail became America's first great international commercial highway, and for nearly 60 years thereafter was one of the nation's great routes of adventure and western expansion. It was roughly 750 miles from towns in western Missouri to Santa Fe, and about 500 miles of that trail lay in what would become Kansas. This means Kansas has more miles of the trail than any other state. The trail makes a diagonal slash from northeast to southwest, leaving ruts and stories behind. As we look forward to the Santa Fe Trail's 200th anniversary in 2021, some events are already in the works commemorating the historic anniversary, 2 of them in Morris County. The Symphony in the Flint Hills will return to Morris County in 2021, and the Voices of the Wind People pageant in Council Grove has been telling the story of the commerce on the trail for decades. Kansas has 9 chapters of the Santa Fe Trail Association, and you can find them on the SIFTA website. Find the one nearest you, or the one nearest your favorite stretch of trail, and join today. This is the perfect way to get kids acquainted with the trail's history and to begin gearing up for Santa Fe Trail 200. Another great way to get the kids interested is the geocaching along the trail. Lots of folks have used the search to become acquainted with the trail, adding their own discoveries to the adventure of the trail. Follow SIFTA on Facebook and other social media to keep up with coming events. There are conferences each year that feature distinguished historians and scholars offering new insights into the many aspects of trail history. While planning for 2021, the board agreed that a logo was needed to brand those events. This particular task led to a unique and quite successful partnership. Avila University in Kansas City offers a senior studio course that is the capstone experience for all graphic design majors. The course satisfies the university's requirements for community engagement and service learning by partnering students with real-world clients. SIFTA took advantage of this opportunity by asking the students to submit designs for our 2021 logo. We think you will agree that the winning graphic combines everything we wanted to communicate, the feel of the Santa Fe Trail, as well as the significant dates. The design combines the ubiquitous wagon wheel and reminds us of the constant motion of the trail's history. The student who conceived and executed the idea is Sultan, a native of Saudi Arabia. Sultan had dreamed of becoming a graphic designer, but educational opportunities in his own country were limited. His wife's job offered a scholarship opportunity, and the couple came to America. Sultan to Avila and his wife to UMKC. Sultan completed his BA in graphic design in December and plans to begin his career upon moving back to Saudi Arabia. We are thrilled that the SIFTA will benefit from his talent and training and wish him well as he shares his portfolio with the SIFTA 200th anniversary logo prominently displayed.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream.